Hey, I'm Brian Castle, founder of Parklife, and I often tell people uh, that one of the coolest parts of my job is I get to work with some pretty amazing leaders, whether they're entrepreneurs, executives, um, but especially people that work in the social impact and innovation space. We've gotten to do a lot of work with a group of nonprofits out in Texas, in Dallas. And one of my favorite people already from that group is someone who came to us just a couple months ago. And you're seeing her on screen with me. Her name is Camila Correa Bordeau, and she's the executive director of March to the Polls, a nonprofit focused on ginning up voter participation in multiple ways. Thank you for agreeing to do this, Camila. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate it. I get excited any opportunity to kind of step back from the work and reflect and have a discussion is always, I think, re-energizing. It kind of recalibrates, why am I doing this? So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. I'd say the same thing. People ask me about my company and what I do all the time, and I feel like I grow from those
Hmm.
conversations each time and understand my story and my role in the story
Hmm.
a little better each time. So, share with us a little bit about March to the Polls, your mission, and your programs, the great
Yeah.
work you're doing there in the Dallas area.
Yes. So, March to the Polls, the mission is to substantially increase voter participation, particularly among underrepresented and historically underrepresented communities. So, that's young people, young voters, 18 and 24-year-olds. And then also people of color, communities of color. So, Latinos, primarily, Black communities as well. And our program started, I guess it was in 2015. We, as a volunteer group, were registering people to vote in the community, but then were invited to go to a high school to visit a senior class that had set up some kind of gathering in the auditorium of the school. And we worked alongside other great organizations that do this work too. And we loved it, enjoyed it, thought it was great, thought it was a really special audience to work with too, because that's really, you're kind of getting at the entry level for developing this habit of voting. You're about to be 18, you're about to be able to participate in elections. So it just felt like such a great thing in terms of like where we were investing our energy then. Again, this is just as volunteers. Um, and we realized that there were other ways that we could do it that could even be more impactful than being in the auditorium with a group of seniors. So it was March to the Polls that I guess at the time didn't have that name, but it was that group of volunteers that ended up asking the school districts, well, why don't we do this in the classroom? Like, can we have almost like a lesson, a discussion with students so that in an auditorium, as you can imagine, especially in the high school setting, they're excited to be sitting with their peers and, out of the classroom, etc. When you're back in the classroom, there's more opportunity to have like a structure and maybe clear objectives and, two-way dialogue instead of somebody just talking at you about voting and getting you registered to vote. So that highlights the first key program of our organization, which is that we have now partnered with, this year it's 10 school districts, but yeah, I guess it started with one and then it's grown over time. But we partner with North Texas school districts and primarily in Dallas and Tarrant County, but also in Collin and Denton counties. And we arrange to visit all of the seniors that are in government and or economics their senior year. And we talk to them about voting, hopefully inspire them to become voters and learn about what they care about, talk about the issues that impact them that could be addressed by elected officials, and then we register those that are eligible to vote. And so that's the first key program. But we also learned that that wasn't enough, because we only visit them once in the fall and then we visit them again for a second time in the spring. But somebody needed to carry that work forward and to remind their peers in their community to vote whenever elections rolled around. And so we also, a second key program is what came to be called the Student Voter Empowerment Coalition, and that is high school-led civic engagement clubs for students in 9th through 12th grade. Because also, you're a senior, you have a lot on your mind. Voting for us is hopefully one of those key things, but it's also kind of late in a way, right? I know I was talking about that is the entry point to voting and building this habit. But we would love for 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders to look forward to this too. So the civic engagement clubs really are an opportunity for students to, be in a club, be in this extracurricular group, and then go on field trips to meet school board representatives and, host a voter registration drive in their community, et cetera. So that's the second key program. And then the third key program is really just being in the community, and that involves our Latino voter outreach, as well as training volunteers to become volunteer deputy registrars so that they can, in Texas, and I think it's different depending on where you live, you have to be trained to register people to vote. So we do huge trainings for people that live here, and send people out to send people out to different community events so that if there's like a festival going on, we have a table where we can register people to vote at that event that may or may not have anything to do with, voting. It could be a Greek festival, but we have a table there so we can register the people that come by. So those are I think I highlighted all of our key programs. All it is, getting people excited about voting.